Hi guys, my name is Zelki, and today I wanted to go over how to shoot nothing in nowhere. I think as photographers we always dream of the ideal situation where there's maybe a lot of people, or maybe we're in a desert, depending on what kind of photographer you are, and all these, these ideal dream situations that we can shoot in. And I personally think that not everyone has access to these situations. And in reality, we all live in different places and we all have our own kind of environment to work with. And I personally hear a lot of people not complaining, but kind of saying that, oh, I live in a place where there's nothing to shoot, or I live where there's no activity going on. And I'm actually the same. I live basically nowhere, and I usually go to Tokyo to take photos. So what I wanted to do in this video is go through some tips and tricks that probably, or hopefully, help people shoot in these situations where there's nothing. And today I'll be using the Leica Q in order to take these photos. One thing I like doing when I'm shooting nowhere is I try to look for things that are specific to places that are more open or have less people in it. What I mean by this is, for example, looking for things that kind of stand out in an open space, finding something quirky about that open or free space, and try to portray that into the photograph. It's good to look for that one specific detail that you might find interesting, or an audience might find interesting, and try to make a photograph around that. So I'm learning things about the frame as I'm taking these photos. First, I like the light. The light was nice. How the highlights are here and how the shadows fall off from the houses. But also, I'm also learning that as I take more photos, I like the color of the house with its pastel-like pinkish tone and the blue and the purple bike, and all these colors are kind of interacting with each other. And what I'm also doing is I'm going closer and further away from the frame. I'm learning what I like about the picture as I'm taking it. For example, if I take a step away, I know that there are all these colors that I can put in the frame with the orange and the pink and the blue. But if I take a step closer, I can limit those colors and limit what I put into the frame. So I'm learning, and I'm kind of testing out what I should subtract and what I should add into the frame. And it's just like nice to shoot nowhere sometimes, right? There's no one, you can hear the birds chirping. It's very peaceful and stuff. Peaceful and stuff. Hey guys, so we're like a 3-mile walk away from my house, and I really like this backdrop. It's a nice house with like a tealish color, I guess. And you have all these shadows hitting the walls, and they're really nice, and I really like it. So yeah, I might wait for someone or something to pass through, which is pretty much impossible because it's just like, there's nothing here. Some cars pass, but that's it. Well yeah, let's see what I get and let's see what happens here. And I'll try some new things. These photos were definitely some of my favorite ones. There's something about the poles and the color of the walls and the entire tone of the scene that I love. And one point I want to make here is that usually people tend to choose photographs with some kind of human subject matter in it. But looking at these photos, to me, the photographs without the person in them look a little bit more mysterious, which is something that I like in my photographs. But in comparison, the photograph with the person in it looks a little bit more like a living and moving scene. Another thing is, even if something seems too abstract for you, don't hesitate to shoot it. Okay, so what I meant by don't hesitate to shoot is that, especially in a scenario where there's basically nothing, it's really bad to be in this mindset of, well, I won't take the photo because there's just nothing happening. Then you actually just end up never taking any photos. And what that leads to is you just don't take any photos, and it's not even hit or miss, and the whole process of taking photos in that journey becomes a very boring experience for you. I think it's important to stay motivated during a photo shoot. So it's good to take as many photos as you can, not, randomly, but if you do find something interesting about the scene, then yeah, just try to take a photo of it. So whether or not you're a street photographer, landscape photographer, documentary photographer, portrait photographer, try taking, different types of photos. Try taking abstract photos. Try taking photos that you think works for color. Try taking photos that might work in black and white. Try to take photos that might be a good landscape photo. And that's usually the mindset I try to be in. I try to be as neutral as possible so I can get as many shots out of that quote unquote boring scene as possible. So hey guys, we're back at home, and thank you for watching the video. I hope that provided some help or guidance for anyone, especially now that, things are changing and we have to stay at home a lot, or we have to stay around our hometown a lot. I thought that maybe providing some guidance or advice on shooting in non-ideal situations might be valuable for people. And don't get me wrong, I also have to kind of constantly fight with myself to shoot in these non-ideal conditions. It's not the most motivating thing, but through this video I hope to kind of get me in a better mindset, and also maybe hopefully that kind of peps other people up too. Regarding my content going forward, I do hope to provide and create more helpful content or guides like this going forward. Well, helpful is subjective, but oh well. I also want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. I created a Patreon page very recently, and I started a Discord group around the Patreon page too. The Discord group has been just amazing, at least in my opinion. We've been nerding out over photography for days, and I don't think this is coming to an end. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then yeah, go check the page out. Or if you just want to support my work, please check out my Patreon page. But also what you can do is you can subscribe. Yay, and please hit the like button, please. I'm begging you. Well, all jokes aside, thanks for watching this video, and for whoever is, thank you very much for supporting me. This was Ulysses Aoki, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Sayonara.